The Oklahoma Sooners have snagged a 5-star tight end currently in the class of 2025, but I think we all expect the 5-star tight end Davon Mitchell to reclassify to the class of 2024 because it's not only something that he has talked about, but many other recruiting insiders across the industry have definitely decided that they think is going to happen as well. But guys, we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into the commitment of Davon Mitchell and what this means for the Oklahoma Sooners. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like and hit the subscribe button. Jump down in the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are, because Davon Mitchell is an absolute game changer for the University of Oklahoma and where this offense can go over the next couple of years. And quite honestly, this is something that I think could really get the ball rolling for the Sooners, and it's something I want to hear from you guys about. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below, let me know y'all's thoughts. But let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So the 5-star tight end Davon Mitchell, former teammates with the 4-star quarterback Michael Hawkins, who is currently committed in this class, has decided to commit to the University of Oklahoma. Now, technically, Davon Mitchell is still a part of the 2025 class and is currently not a part of the 2024 class yet. Although you've heard of nothing but good things about Davon Mitchell potentially being a part of the 2024 class for whoever, where he ended up landing now for the Oklahoma Sooners. And I think this is something notable because the Oklahoma Sooners going into the 2024, going to the SEC, definitely had question marks at the tight end position. Because although you have Austin Stogner this year to help you out, he's going to be exiting the class. And so you have Josh Faneuil out of Missouri City, Texas, who, by the way, is former teammates with Zion Kearney. So interesting there. You have Jason Llewellyn. You have guys like Cade McIntyre, right? So you look at the tight end position for the University of Oklahoma. Yes, like a Caden Helms or a Blake Smith who ended up transferring in. There are questions. And I think Davon Mitchell helps kind of eliminate some of those questions that you have. Now, I think there's been some belief that Ivan Carrion, the 4-star wide receiver that is currently committed to the University of Oklahoma, will potentially play the tight end position because of just how tall he is. Maybe he could fit into certain packages. But Davon Mitchell is just a true tight end that can kind of bully people on the other side of the ball around. And that's something that I kind of want to take a look at with you guys in some film. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share that screen so that you guys are able to see that. But Davon Mitchell is a guy that, again, I think plays a little bit of bully ball and is a different tight end than what Oklahoma has had as of recently, right? So you kind of think about a Mackey Award winner in Mark Andrews, and you look at some of the other guys that we've had, maybe in Grant Calcaterra. Oklahoma has had some great tight ends, even during the Lincoln Riley era. And so this isn't news for Oklahoma to go out here and land a tight end of this caliber. But for Oklahoma to go out there and land a 5-star tight end, this is kind of what you would expect to see out of Georgia. Now, I like Davon Mitchell's eye that he has for the ball and really his just ability to be able to jump up there and go grab it in the middle of traffic. And that's something that you're going to kind of notice here in this film that we're watching. He doesn't necessarily have breakaway speed, but he's a hard guy to tackle. He's a hard guy to bring down, especially once he gets the ball into his hand. He secures it, and ultimately he's a force to be reckoned with on the field. And this is going to be a weapon that I'm not saying Michael Hawkins is going to be able to use right away, because I don't think Michael Hawkins starts over Jackson Arnold. But this is going to be a huge weapon for Jackson Arnold going into the SEC, where you're going to have to be more physical. You're going to have more big bodies like this. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, what do I mean by a big body? Well, when you look at Davon Mitchell, he is a 6'4", 245-pound tight end. So obviously, you would expect that if he reclassifies and he's able to get into the Schmitty program in January, that their idea probably would be to tack on maybe another 10 to 15 pounds in muscle weight. You definitely probably want him to be just a slightly bigger, but his height, I think, he's right on the ball there, especially in what you would expect for a tight end. Now, in high school. In 2022, he was the Texas District 5-6A first team selection as a sophomore. And in 2021, at Allen, Texas, and I want to emphasize that at Allen, Texas, where Allen, Texas has tremendous talent year in and year out, he played junior varsity as a freshman. So Davon Mitchell is just a guy that has ultimately just been that dude all throughout in high school and will be that dude going into college. Now, looking at kind of how this decision came about, it ultimately became down between Oklahoma, Alabama, and Miami. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you really started to maybe get a little freaked out here because you started to hear about a late push that Miami was making or Alabama was making. And you started to ask the question, is this just going to be another 5-star where Oklahoma feels really good about, but at the end of the day, at the final hour, they ended up slipping away. And ultimately, I don't think that that's going to be the case with Davon Mitchell here. As you've seen, Alabama, they kind of felt like they had lost momentum going into the last couple days of this recruitment. Miami, though, they felt like they were just in a good spot of Oklahoma. And that really worries you because Miami was out here throwing a bag. And so, of course, the narrative would have been, if Oklahoma would have lost Davon Mitchell, hey, Miami threw out the bag. They paid for him. Oklahoma just can't keep up with it. Well, now you can look at it and go, Oklahoma can keep up with the NIL bags when they absolutely want a player outside of just paying astronomical amounts for these offensive linemen and defensive linemen. And yes, I'm going to say it, offensive linemen and defensive linemen, along with maybe your top 2 quarterbacks in a class, are the only people that are going to be making actual serious money in the NIL game. And talking to Jay over at Unfair Sports about it the other day, he's going to be curious to actually see, and I'm curious too, what these dollar amounts actually look like for the University of Oklahoma, or for the universities and the players in a couple of years. Because like with Nico Iamaleava, or Lave, I hope I said that right. I'm pretty sure I just butchered it. You heard about the $8 million exclusive NIL rights deal. How is that true? How are you paying a kid $8 million that's never proven a dang thing on the field? I could see paying Caleb Williams $8 million. How are you paying $8 million to Nico when he hasn't played a single college football game? Right? So sometimes I feel like these numbers that are being thrown around are a little inflated, but ultimately Oklahoma was able to beat out the NIL game here with Miami, and I think that's important. Now, if you look at the visits and you followed the visits, Oklahoma was by far the one that had the most, 6 visits. And he was here pretty frequently all throughout 2022. You had it, I believe it was back in May. You had him back in June, July. You had him back in September. And then in 2023, you had him here in January. You had him here in June. I believe he was up here in between then a little bit for camps and things like that. And then he's been to Alabama 3 times. He's been to Miami 2 or 3 times. So Oklahoma definitely got several visits from Davon Mitchell. And if you just followed the visits, yeah, this is what you would have came up with. So the University of Oklahoma snags a 5-star tight end in Davon Mitchell. First 5-star of the class. And I believe we are all expecting the next 5-star to be Taylor Tatum. So I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, jump down in the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are about the 5-star tight end Davon Mitchell committing to the University of Oklahoma. And give me your predictions for 2025 class. You guys go over to 247 Sports, take a look at it, and give me predictions of who you think Oklahoma lands there. Do you think, I believe it'll be Marcus James and Chase Lofton. I don't believe they go after Nate Roberts, but I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know y'all's thoughts.